Hello, everyone. It's going fabulous. How are you, Ben?
Good, good. So there's quite a lot of questions to get through. Quite a lot of people have asked quite a few. So I'll go through one question of each person, and then if there's time, I'll go through the other ones. But before we jump into all the questions, it's good to just do a catch up. We've had a lot going on the last couple of months, from our content with Red Bull Media to Canal Plus. We've had some exciting partnerships with Planet Feta and the NFT relationship with the upcoming movie Stealing McCloud. And in addition to that, we've been mentioning Forbes and the Hollywood Reporter and so forth. But Riaz, you've been quite busy, and what have you been up to? You went to LA, Thailand, so forth. What's been happening?
Ben, I've been around the world, yes, indeed. So I was in LA for the NFT LA conference, which was really exciting. Great to see what's going on, at the cutting edge of NFTs, and great community there as well. Met some really interesting folk. I was at a private dinner at the house of the founder of Sandbox and the founders of Animoca, etc. So some amazing projects and having some early stage discussions about some awesome partnerships as well while I was in LA. And then very soon after LA, I was at this very niche crypto event in Phuket that was invite only. And it was by Coach K, who's a pretty well-known crypto influencer. And got to meet some amazing folk out there. Again, some investment funds, some projects, and great to see stuff that's coming out on within our space, and also the momentum that's building up in building the content space as well. So it's been an exciting few weeks on that front, but also on the right stream front, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes that the community perhaps doesn't see all the time. And I'm really happy to be here to be sharing more information about where we are at, answering people's questions. And I'd like to kick off with some great news for you guys that staking is now live, people. I know you've been waiting for this, and we promise you it will happen this week, and it is here. And you'll find details in our community chats, exactly how to do the staking and what links to go to and so forth. The other thing is, I would also like to welcome Jamie. He's joined us as our head of product, and another great addition to our team. And we're building awesome momentum and really fine tuning what we're doing on the product front as well. So, Jamie, would you like to say a word or two?
I'll just add Jamie into the chat one second.
Sure. Hey, Jamie, are you there?
Well, while we're waiting for Jamie, um, I'll just uh, I'll just start looking at some of these questions. So we've had quite a lot, as I said. So let's start with Cap Cosmos. It's a great name. Forgive me while I'm saying some of these Discord handles out. Some of them are always different than others to read. So Cap Cosmos, one of his questions. He's got quite a few. As I said, we'll go through one of everyone's, and then I'll try and get back to ask some other questions. So the first one from his is the right token supply is 1 billion. Don't you think this supply is too large? And without proper liquidity, the value of the token will be so low. What's your view on this, Riyadh?
So, on the face of it, the supply looks large, but it actually is not. If you look at the entertainment industry that we're targeting, it's $1 trillion industry, folks. And if you think about what we're doing within our ecosystem, right? So we're creating a funding platform which will generate millions and millions of dollars worth of revenue. Now, how is that going to happen? It's effectively a film gets funded as $5 million film, and people need to go and buy $5 million worth of tokens. So there needs to be supply there, but at the same time, the supply is restricted. So in a year, say if we have, say, 10 films funded on the platform, you're looking at, 40, $50 million worth of buying that happens. Now, if you look at other parts of the ecosystem, we have our NFT platform. When NFTs get minted and purchased, again, that's a lot of tokens are needed for that as well in order to facilitate that purchase. And then, of course, you've got our Livestream platform whereby you can watch content and the view-to-earn mechanism. And if you have, say, even 1 million people watching content on our platform, that's a lot of utility for the token, which means that we need an adequate amount of supply so that as the utility grows over time and there's more and more use cases for the token, that there's enough out there, but at the same time, the supply is constructed and what's in the market is relatively limited as well, which ensures that our token will continue going up in price based on the fundamentals of the business and as utility increases. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I'm sure that does. So there's no burning in the future pipeline or anything like that?
Not at this stage.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that there will never be, but not right now.
Yeah, cool. So the next question from Pandaluca, if I said that right. So crypto and entertainment are two different platforms, and Rightstream aims to integrate these two. Not everyone on the entertainment industry are crypto enthusiasts, but how do you plan to attract and introduce them into the crypto world?
Okay, so I think the question is related to how do we bring Web2 audiences into Web3, is that correct?
Exactly, yeah. So those people don't know, the entertainment industry.
So the great thing is that because we are in the entertainment industry, and who doesn't watch content, right? It's not like gaming that you'd have a limited number of people that play games. But everybody watches movies, everybody watches television shows. So I think with our platform, if we make it very accessible and easy to I'm getting some echo here, Ben. Hi, Jamie.
Is that for me? There's no echo here, so yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool. So, as I was saying then, that because so many people watch content, and if we make it super easy for them to actually download our app and purchase tokens, etc., using the credit cards and make that on-ramp very, very easy, then the adoption in Web2 will increase very dramatically. Because if they don't have to understand about how crypto works, and they're there just to watch content and interact with content or invest in content, and we will make that process so simple for them that even if they know nothing about crypto, they can still use our platform and they can still engage. And what that does is it brings our Web2 audiences into Web3. It drives adoption for crypto overall. And I believe that projects like ours will be a game changer for crypto because that appeals to the masses and it's not just limited to a few people.
Yeah,
hope that helps.
Yeah, that would probably clear it up for Pandaluca. So the next question from Wheezy, and this name I know because he's been very supportive in our community chat. One of his questions, this question I've picked, it's quite a long one to read out, but I'm going to give it a shot. Wheezy, thanks for asking this question. So on Rightstream's launchpad, the public will have the opportunity to invest in upcoming film projects using Rite. After production, those films will be distributed to the already existing network content providers. The money from the licensing fees will then be redistributed back to those who continue to stake tokens in those films. Is this correct? The question is, can you explain the licensing process more in-depthly? How much might an individual license fetch, and for how long would the license last? There's quite a few questions in one question here. Yeah, go on.
Do you want me to try and take it one at a time so I don't
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of questions and great questions, Weezy. Thank you so much. So one of your questions is, how much does licensing cost, right? And it can range. So licensing of content depends on territory, and it also depends on who you're selling the license to. So for example, if Netflix buys a license, then that could be millions of dollars for that one particular license. Or if it is a small platform in Africa that buys the license, then it could be a few $1,000s. So that's kind of the range. And the period of licensing, typically in the industry, is usually about around 2 years. It can be shorter and it can be longer as well. But I hope that answers your question about licensing. What was the next question in that list, Ben?
How might the individual license fetch, and how long would the license last?
Yeah, I just answered those two questions.
Yeah. So, are the content providers paying in fiat or crypto? Is the next one.
So the content providers are not paying; it's the content buyers that are paying.
Yeah.
So the people that license it, and we give them the option to pay in fiat or crypto. But then, even if they pay in fiat, then we convert that to crypto in order to pay the rights holders. So which means that if Netflix comes and buys content from us, then they might be paying us $1 million in fiat. But then we would convert that to right tokens and then pay to our rights holders.
Okay, and the next one jumps into this similar type of scenario, but with staking. So, will the stakers need to remain staked until the end of the duration of the license to receive their share of the license fees?
So I think there's a slight confusion there in terms of the staking mechanism is required for funding of content, right? So if you're a producer, you come to the platform and you want your content funded, then you would need to stake a certain amount. And you would need to keep that stake till you complete your project effectively. So I think that's what this relates to. Now, I know Jamie was having some issues with his microphone before, and he was talking, but we couldn't hear him. So I'm going to allow Jamie to just jump in, say quick hello to everyone, and over to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Riaz. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Sure.
All right. Technology, huh? Hi, everyone. The name's Jamie. I'm super excited to be on board and part of the Livestream family. As Riaz alluded to earlier, my role here is to help bring the product vision and the roadmap to life throughout 2022 and much further beyond. I won't waffle on too much about my background right now, as we're going to start to be discovering more about new members of the Livestream team over the next few weeks. Needless to say, I am incredibly keen to start ensuring that we share a lot more with you as a community. And so my commitment right now off of the bat is that, we will be doing much more regular updates moving forward. And part of that process is going to be learning a little bit more about myself and other new members of the Livestream team, because it is growing quite a lot. Needless to say, you can find me right now on Livestream's Telegram and Discord. For any NFT aficionados, you can probably see I'm using a cyber broker as a profile picture. So it's pretty easy to spot me out. And it's also worth pointing out that this is definitely worth a lot less than when I first bought it, thanks to the current model. Look, I'm looking forward to working with you all, sharing information. Please feel free to reach out to me as much as possible. Enjoy the rest of the AMA, and I will speak to you very soon.
Cheers, Jamie. All right, so the next question from Resta. So far, what major achievements has Livestream achieved?
Fantastic question. And if I look at crypto, and I've been in crypto for several years, right? A lot of projects have the token sales, they launch the token, etc., and then it's years often before you actually see a product go live. I'm very proud to say that it's just a few weeks since our IDO, and our streaming app is in the hands of our testers. And in fact, yeah, you guys will be able to test the app as soon as Apple and Google Play kind of release it. It's now in their hands. We've done everything that we need to. So that's good to go. And we're super excited about that. We're super excited about getting your feedback as well. And in addition to that, I think what we have today is a very strong foundation. So we're building off an existing, revenue-generating business, which not many crypto projects can actually say that out there. So we have a foundation that allows us to really grow long-term and to create a very sustainable business. So the fact that our app is going live, we are revenue-generating, and then other aspects of our ecosystem will go live within this year at different stages. That's super exciting, and we are working on all of those aspects in parallel. And in addition to that, we have formed some amazing partnerships, some of them that Ben mentioned earlier on. And we're continuing to do that and attracting some great partners on this journey, both on the content front as well as metaverse projects. And there's a lot more to come that we'll share with you in the coming weeks.
Cool. So the next question from Robert 10 is, as the NFTs were focused on the images and video clips of players, so he's just talking about, the previous NFT world, you'd have those video clips of basketball players, wherever else, and JPEGs, as people joke about. I wondered if there were so copyright problems or something similar that a user can buy an NFT and that the player shown, so instead image requests the removal of that material. So there's a few grammatical things I was trying to understand on that question. But yeah, so it's about if somebody requests the removal of the material.
Yeah, look, when an NFT is created, it's done with the permission of the rights holder, right? So when we work with a movie, for example, and Stealing McCloud is a great example, that we have exclusive rights to that movie. And when we release those NFTs, then no one can question those, right? So that they're legitimate NFTs that when you purchase that NFT, you have the rights to that. And no one will be able to question those rights. And the rights are on the blockchain. So it's immutable in that sense as well. So that is not going to be an issue with what we're doing.
Yeah, it's about, so you're just concerned about the safety of that.
Yeah, and that's why whenever creating NFTs, you have to ensure that you have, they're done with written consents from the artist, from the talent, from the producers of the film, for example, and that the relevant paperwork is in place to ensure that people that buy that NFT are protected. And that's why you have someone like Livestream to ensure that all that happens.
Yeah, cool. So the next question, if I pronounce this right, from Subham Gurjar, I think that's right. How does Rite acquire movie rights to stream them on the Rite app? So how are you acquiring the rights to streaming?
Okay, so this is the great thing about us, that we already have something like 10,000 movies on our sister platform, which is called allrights.com. So it is super easy for us to acquire great content because we have pre-existing relationships with producers, with distributors across the globe, and we already have the rights cleared on our existing platform. So for us to actually have the rights, it's literally a matter of selecting what titles we want, because we know the availability of those rights. We have got deals already in place, and it is extremely easy for us to scale this business. And that's where we are different to some potential competition that have to go and acquire these rights, and they don't have this vast catalog that we do of thousands of titles that we can just tap into overnight.
Yeah, that is very, very cool. The next question, which is a long one, he says, I've only got one question. Noms, his name is. I've only got one question, but it's a long one, so here we go. In the white paper, you note that only 1 in 2,160 pictures made actually are converted into a series. That number is so low. And it's such a shame, as I know that I watch a lot of streaming products and would appreciate a lot more series that are not mainstream. I ask, do we have an estimate of how Rightstream will improve this low percentage and give viewers like him more choice into non-mainstream material? Last bit of the question now. Does Rightstream have a percentage goal they would like to meet as a business? And how will they go about meeting this goal? So did you understand all of that, Riaz?
Yeah, so fantastic question, and it touches on a very key aspect of what we're doing. And I come at it as a creator, right? So I've experienced this myself in having to pitch to studios, to networks and so forth, and it takes forever to actually get the show made and on air. And that's the reason why I invented the Rightstream platform, because it is there to empower the creators and to get ideas funded more quickly. And so the launchpad that we have really empowers the creators to connect with the community, right? So here, community will be able to see, thousands of ideas, and then they'll be able to decide which ones they want to back. And now it's not a studio that's deciding that, because when you run a major studio, then the agenda is different, right? You're driven by a lot of commercials, and it's driven by the people that are making the decisions. They don't want to put their job at risk, and they only take safe bets. Now, with the community backing these projects, the probability of success increases exponentially, because now the community says, "Hey, this is a really cool idea, and I think this has incredible potential, and this could become the next big hit." And because the people that are going to be watching this content are actually backing that content, then its likelihood of success is a lot higher automatically as well, because it's got this groundswell from the day that it's getting funded. So I believe that we will completely change this equation and how projects get funded and the ratio of projects that get funded. And look, in terms of percentage, my ideal world would be everything gets funded, right? I want to give every creator that opportunity. But the reality is that there'll be a lot of projects that come to our platform, but then the community will be able to decide which ones get funded. And I would say that our goal would be at least to get 50 to 60% of them off the ground based on the community funding. So you can see that ratio changes exponentially from what it is today when things get brought to our funding platform. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah, you're cutting out a lot of the middlemen, which you would have experienced as the producer. Yeah. Okay. The next question from Annie Ruder. What's your competitive edge in the video content field? Well, you probably answered that before with regards to being in the industry and all rights since 2017. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, sure. So our competitive edge, as Ben mentioned, that our business has been established since 2017. So we already have a marketplace platform with thousands of titles on it. So we have an amazing launchpad that is generating revenues and that can really help us launch into Web3. So that is our, unfair advantage over any other competitor in that sense. The other unfair advantage that we would have is our experience within the industry. People that are on the team have been in this industry for decades in film and television, and we have deep relationships with the industry. And historically, this industry has been, driven by these relationships, and our goal is to just to democratize that whole process to the next level. So I believe that's what we bring to the table: our experience, our existing infrastructure that we have built, the foundation, the fact that we are generating revenue. So, we are not dependent on just the funds that we have raised, because we are making money as we go as well. So which means that we'll be around for the long haul. And of course, the overall awesome vision that we have, that no other project has been able to bring this together under one umbrella to date, and that's what we're doing.
Cool, yeah. And the next question from John Snow, I think possibly also we might have touched on this earlier on, what is the level of quality in the productions available? So we really have touched on partnerships with Red Bull Media and Canal. What are the other top couple, would you say, that come to mind, Riaz, with the quality of productions that you'll have available?
So the quality of productions that we have come from everything from major Hollywood studios through to Bollywood studios through to Chinese content. So it's quite a large variety. And if you look at, if you just go to allrights.com, you'll see the kind of content that we already have access to that's coming to a Livestream platform. And these have A-list Hollywood actors, they're recent releases, there's content that's, a lot of great indie content that has won awards. So it's really everything to satisfy, various appetites out there, because we are a global platform and we want to make sure that we have variety, both in terms of languages and genres and kind of content that we have generally.
Brilliant. And the next question from Metaverse Metin. Could you explain to the community the process of creation, fractionalization, and monetization of an NFT movie?
Okay, so perhaps best way to explain that is by an example, right? So imagine that a creator comes to our platform, to our launchpad, and their movie costs $1 million to make. So what we basically do is we say, fantastic, initially this is only an idea, right? And it's got a script and it might have a trailer and other things associated with it. And we create an NFT for the producer so that they can actually claim ownership of that NFT and of that IP. Now, in parallel, we would generate, say, 100,000 NFTs that are worth $10 each. And then these will be put up to the community for the community to acquire these NFTs. If all of these NFTs are sold and the production budget is met, then effectively the film goes into production, and all of these people that have all these NFTs, they essentially are fractional owners of that film. And they derive benefits from that film as that film gets created, and the benefits can range from having exclusive access, behind-the-scenes content, meet and greets, potential revenues as well from the film. And of course, a great upside that on day one, for example, when they bought that NFT, there was no actor attached. A week later or a month later, a celebrity becomes attached to that film. And at that point, the value of that NFT will automatically rise, because now the success factor on that film has increased exponentially. So now they have a tradable asset that they can sell on any NFT marketplace, and effectively they've helped fund that movie, but also they've realized some gains as a result by doing that. So we're creating this amazing ecosystem whereby the community can participate in the success of films, TV shows, etc., and they can back their favorite producers, their actors, the talent that they believe in, concepts that they believe in, and have a real part in this creation process. And that's what I love about this, that this is the way for the community to really engage with the producers, and have the kind of access that's never been available to the common public before. So, yeah, that's how it will.
Everyone's been always worrying about utility with all of the avatar images and stuff, and that's really tackled with bringing movies into the NFT world. Cool. So the next question, let's just say Tarek, where do you get the inspiration of this unique project idea? Then he goes on, what plans do humans have to build trust? So I don't. He said humans, so maybe he was referring to not saying what plans did bots. So we don't have any bots. No, we've just got humans working for us. What plans do you have to build trust and build collaboration in the community?
What was the first part of that question?
Yeah.
I lost it. Yeah. So where did I get the inspiration, right? So the inspiration comes from personal experience, personal pain points, really. That as a creator, for me to bring a concept to life, I've gone through, all the hoops one can imagine. And, having jumped through those hoops, I've been nominated for Emmy Awards, I've won a lot of awards as well, and I've been successful in that career. But I also know the pain that a producer experiences in from ideation to reality, right? So that was the fundamental thing for me, that, okay, how do we actually really empower creators? How do we give them access to capital, access to communities, and access to distribution, so that it's not just about getting content funded, but it's also about monetizing that content. So how do we actually solve all of these problems? And because I experienced these problems as a producer, I wanted to solve it for everyone, not just for myself. And that became my motivation to initially create the All Rights platform and then take this right into Web3 with Livestream. And your second part of the question was, how do us humans plan to create trust? Humans don't often trust each other, and that's why we have blockchain. So the end game is to actually make everything transparent and put everything on the blockchain, so that trust doesn't really come into play, because then we put in place mechanisms whereby the community is protected, the creators are protected, and everything is transparent on the blockchain for people. And that's why I love Web3, because it takes away that need to have trust between people per se. Because humans will be humans, and they'll all have different motivations over different time. But ultimately, when you have a trustless network, then things can go a lot smoother, a lot faster as well.
Yeah, cool. So we've asked one question of a lot of the people that were initially posted. So I'll just go through a couple of their second and third questions. So back to Luca. So Livestream is a platform where fans connect and interact with artists using your tools. Can you explain to us how the fans support their favorite artists on your platform? You probably touched on this, because people invest in the token, and that's how they're really supporting their artists, because you're helping them build and make.
Yeah, look, and I was coming to the platform. They've got this amazing creative project, and they want to get it funded, right? So the community buys the NFTs and helps them fund their project, and also enjoys the fruits of their labor. So that's how that ecosystem plays out.
Yeah, cool. I'm just checking Super again. What goes on when choosing what movies you will put on the platform? So I guess that's also thinking about your partnership. What are you thinking about when you're picking your content?
So we have an awesome content team within Livestream, and our team has run channels at Fox, at NBC, at Disney, etc. And so we bring a wealth of experience, and that experience basically then helps us determine what kind of content and what territories would be appealing. And then our team puts together a content mix, but also we're data-driven, right? So we're a technology company, so as we understand audience behaviors, what content works, what doesn't work, then we can rapidly change that mix out to actually suit the demand and what people are really asking us for.
Yeah, like all that secret information Netflix have on the users.
Exactly, except that for us, it's going to be pretty transparent.
Okay.
And the other thing is that you know about the view to earn mechanism, right, that we have in our app. So when you watch content and you provide us feedback and you say, hey, I absolutely love that movie, for example, and you earn right tokens in return, then that data is useful for us because now we know what's actually working. And the whole point about this is to actually offer a better experience to our customers, to ensure that better content gets created. So, and we do that while rewarding our community for providing us that input as well. So unlike Netflix, that still collects your data and doesn't give you anything back. This is where, we're changing the game.
Yeah, it's a very valid point, yeah. So another question, Metaverse, which I think is a very good one. So when crowdfunded a movie, isn't there a risk to limit the creativity of the artist to satisfy the request of the investors? How can you guarantee that the artist will be supported, but at the same time be free to be himself?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And this is exactly why I created the platform, because today, when an artist pitches to a studio and the studio provides funding, then the studio takes complete control over the creative and the artist doesn't have control. Unless, you're a Jeffrey Katzenberg or you're big name producer, you're Steven Spielberg, then you have control. But anyone else, they're not going to have the control. Whereas on our platform, the artist has total control. So the community is there to support the artist in bringing the creative vision to life, but not to dictate to them how to bring it to life or in what direction to take a certain script. So the artist will have complete freedom to create their vision the way they have it in their heads and fulfill that. And the community that believes in them, supports them, provides them the funding, and enjoys the benefits of that, because it's only when you unleash creativity that you can really push the boundaries and that you're not limited by what may happen as a commercial reality or what people might think, because now the artist is free to dream. And this is where I think we'll see some amazing things come to life that would not have otherwise come to life.
Yeah, you sound like you're talking from experience there. It's stung a few times.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Another question from Wheezy, which is an interesting one. So when someone pays to watch a movie, what happens? What happens to the right token in that instance?
So someone pays to watch a movie, right? So what you would do is you would top up your token balance in your wallet on the right app. And then when you watch that movie, then of course you're contributing towards the creator of that movie, and the proceeds will, proportion of the proceeds go back to the rights holder. And of course it creates buy-side demand on the token, right? So the more people that watch content and, they'll be buying more right tokens of an exchange or decentralized, centralized exchange, which creates buy-side pressure, which has a positive impact on our token. And of course, they're enjoying content, and there's no limit to how much content they're going to enjoy. So this actually plays into the tokenomics of how our entire ecosystem is designed as well.
Very cool. Yeah, so we've gone through a lot of the ones that were recorded beforehand. There's a lot of people putting questions in the chat, so I might ask a couple of them if you don't mind, Riaz, since we've got
time. Go for it. Absolutely.
So, did you undergo an audit? This is from this card. Did you undergo an audit? That is something I've not heard you mention. Every investor desires and plans to flee in the event of insecurity of cash, frauds, and rug pulls. Well, it's been a very interesting week in crypto. Well, it's always a very interesting period in crypto. But what level of security do you have in place?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that we build, our smart contracts are audited, and we ensure that we have measures put in place to protect our community and to protect the system that we're building. We're in it for the long haul, and if you look at the profiles of the people behind Livestream, we've all been in business for a long time. We are serial entrepreneurs, have a very high reputation at stake within the industry. So we are building something that's really sustainable, and uh, we want to be the project within Web3 that is game changing, that actually will stand out decades from today. And so for us, it's not about short term gain. We've all had successful businesses, the people behind this project. And so now we're leaving a legacy. So we're going to be here for a long time.
Yeah, very cool. I'm just looking for some of the chat here. So Match, which really asked if we read out one of his questions, but there's quite a few in here. So we might have already answered this in a certain way, but I'll read it out. Livestream wants to transform the way people consume and monetize video forever. Do you believe that crypto adoption will soon be widespread? I think it's pretty widespread now, but definitely very early. What tactics will you employ to achieve these objectives, given the enormity of the task?
I'm definitely up to the task, I'll tell you that. And because I feel it's very attainable, right? So, and I touched on this earlier on, that entertainment is something that appeals to a 2-year-old child and a 100-year-old woman. It doesn't matter, everybody watches content. And that's why I believe that what we are doing is the key to massive crypto adoption. Like what we have right now, in crypto is a very small percentage of the global population. I believe that with platforms like ours, we will take crypto mainstream. And then, of course, because I'm a creator, there's a show that I'm launching called Crypto Nights, which is basically like a Shark Tank for crypto. It's the Shark Tank for Web3, right? Where projects, entrepreneurs will come and pitch to investors and the legends of the crypto industry. And by creating content like that, we're going to take crypto mainstream because people will start watching this content. They'll start to understand what crypto really is. They'll come to the Livestream app to watch this content as well. And we'll make the on-ramp super simple for them, as I mentioned before, so that they'll be able to use a credit card. Even if they know nothing about crypto, they'll be able to use a credit card to actually purchase the right tokens. And then boom, that's where you have the mass adoption. So it's a combination of building a really scalable platform, also having the content play around that. And I believe this show itself will be quite a game changer for the crypto industry at large. And the combination of those factors, I believe, will take us to that mass adoption.
Yeah. And it's spot on. And there's a fair amount of fear at the moment. Somebody asked a question in here about how you're dealing with the longest bear market. I mean, I've been through a couple. I thought 2017 was the longest one for me because I bought, Bitcoin at the top then, and then 2015 was a long one. But looking at the candles now with the analysis, we've had like 4 red candles, pretty much saying that this has been a very long bear market. I guess with having all rights, you're not too focused on that because you've got an existing business which is bringing you revenue.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because we have a solid foundation and we have the cash reserves to actually see us through a bear market. And we've had some pretty big bear markets, right? I mean, 2017, 18, we went through, and earlier, as you mentioned, Ben, in 2015 as well. But I believe we have seen the cycles getting shorter, especially in the last 12 months. And my personal, no one can predict this, but personally, I feel that the bear market is not going to last as long as it did before. And in any event, we've got a lot of runway that will help us build the fundamental product. And also, we've got a revenue-generating business which will see us for years ahead. So it's not something that we're concerned about.
Yeah, same here. I mean, if you've been in crypto for a while now, you get used to this extreme volatility, but now it really has matured from where we were back in 2015 sort of time. So I'm going to do one more question from Vincenzo. So this is an investor question. It could be retail investors, but we can maybe talk about larger investors as well. You can give an update on that. So the question is, will you intend to recruit non-crypto investors? Now, you did, that was a similar question earlier on about non-entertainment people, but people in the entertainment business, who aren't crypto. But because a project's success invites new investors to the crypto sector, what are your plans for getting the word out about your initiative outside of the crypto sphere?
Look, we are already talking to non-crypto investors, and these are some very well-established venture capital firms, US-based, and we are raising money from non-crypto as well. So we're definitely doing that, and what we're finding is that even the non-crypto investors, they are curious about crypto, and they want to dip their toe into crypto. So they're all allocating a portion of their portfolios for crypto investments. So we're definitely seeing a trend towards that, and I believe the trend is going to continue. And this is great news for crypto, right? That even the red candles that we're seeing today, this is not long-term, folks. I wouldn't worry about the market going up or down right now, because if you're here for the long term, the institutional money is moving in, the real projects are emerging, and the real use cases are emerging as well. And that's what's going to make crypto sustainable. And that's what's going to make these cycles shorter in future as well. Every market goes through its ups and downs, but as the market becomes more solid, with a real foundation, with more institutional investors, then those ups and downs are more manageable, and they're shorter as well.
Yeah. I used to feel great pain during those beginning bear markets when everything went down. Now I get quite excited because then I just invest more in the things that I believe in. So it's completely different after seeing so many of these patterns. All right, so we've gone through quite a lot here. So just want to sort of end on letting the community know that moving forward, we'll be providing weekly project updates and a revised roadmap also. So all of those sort of things will be giving you updates a lot more regular than we have, due to being so busy with so many things going on in the development space. I don't know, Riaz, if you want to finish on anything, last thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. Look, I want to thank the community, because you guys have been patient with us, and I really want to thank you for your support. And we're coming through for you. It's, we told you you're going to get staking. It's live now. Please go and stake. This is a great time. Put your white tokens away, because when you look back in 3 months and 12 months, however long you stake, then they're going to be worth a hell lot more, and you would have earned a lot of APY on them as well. Plus, there'll be a lot of utility, right? So go ahead and do that. For all those people that are helping us test the app, thank you so much. And please provide us feedback, because we want to make this awesome for you. We're building this for the community, and we want to make sure that you guys are happy with this. So as soon as Apple and Google Play release those to you guys, you'll be notified automatically. We've done everything at our end, and then you can start testing, give us feedback. And the more feedback we have, that'll help us fine-tune the app, and then we can go live with that piece of the product. And the last piece that I want to say is that don't let the market stress you out, because this is a long-term play. And if you're true believers in crypto, then hang on tight and come for the ride, and you will not be disappointed. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.